Today we'll delve into the truth about the Wheel of the Year. We'll go through three aspects. What is the Wheel of the Year based on? Who created the so-called calendar? We'll talk a little bit about that. And what is the far more cosmic and powerful meanings behind connecting into this again? This Wheel of the Year, as we call it, is a name that we really give to natural rhythms that hum. And when we see beyond illusions and distortions, we can see what the truth of this wheel really means. Now, before I begin, I just want to take a moment and let me thank you. Thank you for all who have subscribed to this channel up to this point. My heart pours gratitude into yours. And I am so grateful for you for being here, and just take a moment to really feel that, because I'm beyond ecstatic for the connection, for you allowing me into your awareness and in taking the time to listen, watch, and of course also share. Because when I created this channel, I was in this space where I was wondering what to do, because I had to restart almost everything within my sacred mission. Because, why? Well, I was sharing many truths and of course natural healing insights. And other big tech vile ones took me off of their platforms. And so that is a moment when we wonder how or where to begin again. But when we run truly sacred missions, the indigos, the starseeds, the cosmic wanderers of this realm, the truth is that we can't be stopped, because what we do is we get back up again. So the courage of my ancestors runs in my veins, and I am also my own ancestor, as we all are. And so there's a sacred fire that burns within me and within all of us, truly. And that's what I want us all to have, for we cannot be stopped. And neither can the magic that we are creating right now. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And some of you, you've actually gone an extra step and you've joined my list, my sacred mission list, as I call it. So a huge thank you goes out to you, because I truly know how sacred our email addresses are these days. We don't want a bunch of BS sent to us, a bunch of crap. And my promise to you is that I will never send a bunch of BS to you, ever. We are in a sacred agreement when we begin these kinds of connections, and I take that very, very seriously. So please be aware of that. Okay, so I just wanted to take a moment to do that. So now let's wander into the magical topic that we have today. We're going to be weaving back to this concept of the Wheel of the Year. And of course, we call this a calendar. I don't even know if that's the right word. The root etymology is it's the wheel. It's just like when we think about chakras and energy centers in our bodies, right? Those are wheels of spinning energy. So what I feel is that we're tapping into the spirals of original creation magic, of which I even have encoded into my very being, because I believe that it's encoded into the very essence of all things. And so this calendar, as we know it, is a framework of how natural rhythms truly work here. So it's something I think that's more magnificent than many can imagine. But I know that many of you already know this, but I'm really wanting to speak these words out into existence, because I feel that this is a simple topic, truly, that has been discussed much and explored previously, but I still feel like there's far more to be explored here, because it's kind of hard for me, from my perspective, to find anything that truly connects this all into dragons, into the creation of our realms, into what we would call cosmic mother and father birthing things into existence. And then, of course, the primordial mind or consciousness or energy that creates all things, from all things comes. And then the divine being that is part of that all, the divine beings. So this is a storytelling that allows us to tap into something far more. And I think that it holds so much wonder. And I can't explore all of this today in this video, of course, so I'm going to do what I can. But it feels like truly they're tales from some other place and we're not talking about here, but it is here, and it's actually still here, meaning the magic is and always has been here, just veiled. So what we're getting back into is the original organic magic, and that's essentially what you could call technology. And while at some point, quite a while ago, I had come across this quote that I actually found I think it's pretty perfect to describe this, but a man named Arthur C. Clarke said, "Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic." And he wrote essays called Profiles of the Future, an inquiry into the limits of the possible. This is truth. Now, in my video called Dragon's Rise, which was talking about the essence and energies of this year, I go over the technology of dragons, but I'm mixing it back with the magic. And of course, there's that truth that dragons are beings, they are not mechanical things. So to me, this quote is actually fundamental to get it, because it's really a fabulous way to describe original creation or organic creation magic, because it is technology mixed with magic. All this meaning that really this realm was founded upon something so much more, and advanced isn't even the right word. And we can't really think of technology in the way that we think of technology, right? So we have to expand our minds way beyond what a third density experience looks like, because this isn't just a third density experience, it's a multi-dimensional experience. And it's a trinity form, meaning it is living and breathing as Earth, Terra, and Gaia. Arthur C. Clarke essays, Profiles of the Future, it appeared in 1962, and it was based on some of the essays he had written around 59 to 61. And it was about what are some ultimate possibilities? What is the future? What can it hold? I haven't read it, but there are some truths weaved in it, surely, and that's why I wanted to mention that. Now, I'm preparing for Imbolc, or Imbolc, celebrated on February 1st, 2nd. And this festival of the Wheel of the Year honors goddess Brigitte. So there's a lot of ways to say this, and I'll go into this some other time, but Bridget is the most common way. But there's also other ways. In fact, Brigitte is another way. So I'll choose Bridget just because that is a common way, but I spell it in a very specific way. Because when I actually just naturally speak that name, I say Brigitte. We're going to go with the common Bridget. And whilst I was creating some things around this celebration tomorrow, in fact, I have this beautiful statue here to remind me at all times. This is Bridget. She is one of the highest aspects of my soul stream of consciousness. I saw her since I was a little girl. I saw her in a dream every night with the great white lions of Sirius, every single night. The same dream reoccurring over and over and over as I moved into my teens. Now that's really interesting because all of this has been flooding back into my awareness over some years now. But the truth of this is that this is the same lineage as Queen Guinevere. So I'm going to go over this more at another time because this is really beautiful wisdom to start connecting again. But as I was creating things for tomorrow, a poem came through me, And this is a poem from Goddess Bridget, and as spoken through myself. And I would like to share this with you right now. So, as the energies shift and change, the chaos may overwhelm. You'll find that there's solace in gathering in the ways of the old. To see the truths again through the lens of Sophia and the Cosmic Mother, this is the wisdom of all that beckons us home. Gather again in honor of the being you call Earth. Remember and embrace the divine power and dragons that weave into the magnificent fabric of all that is. This is how you receive the magic of the sacred fire of transformation that will support you through this time. This octave change will shift a great many things, far more than many know, but together you can forge and flow to build anew. The beauty of what was will be again. And what this poem is opening me up to, and in conjunction with the poem that came through to me through the Merlin lineage or the Merlion energies when I was in the Albion and in those awakening lands just this past October, I actually share this in my video called What or Who is Merlin, if you'd like to see that. But what I'm getting is that as the world is cleaned and purified from these vile beings from other realms that hijacked this one, and by the way, it was my husband's idea to say that instead of EVIL, so thank you. Basically, what we're doing is as things are being cleansed of these primordial fear energies, what I know is that we are going to be pushed and pulled into many waves of what we could call is chaos. But as with the energy of the Mother of Dragons and the energy of the goddess, lioness, warrior lineages of healers and poets and warriors, and in fact, this is the very same lineage of Sekhmet and Bridget, as well as Queen Guinevere and more. So these are the times of the powers of creation and destruction. We must destroy what was to build anew. But let's be very careful in what we're talking about when we say the word destroy. Destroy doesn't mean demolish, it means restarting, recreating, rebuilding. We have to be careful to not be pulled into the fear-mongering of what many speak of. Many people call themselves truthers, but what they're truly spreading is very low-frequency magic, whether they know it or not, because what they're spreading is still the other side, which is fear. So this is the time when we must go into our innateness, our innate gifts, to stand strong in knowing of what is actually true and what is not. And this is the very meaning, of course, as we well know, of this word that we say, discernment. But what I know is that when we come together more and more to synchronize our intentions, which is magic workings, with the natural energies present during these very special times, it amplifies our abilities to manifest change and reach profound spiritual depths as we uncover more of the organic or the original or origin creation magic. And we must create again from these ancient or primordial energies, because what we're doing is going back to the original or origin, to the organic. But to do so, we are going to be melding organic magic with organic technology, if we can say these two, those two elements together. For this is actually the original creation magic that I'm always speaking about. And again, that's why I really love that quote, because it's true. And what is one way for us to touch these energies? Well, when we strip out religions of any kind, and this also has to include what's been wrapped into what we've known as Wicca. Because what I'm feeling from all of the exploration that I've done for a very long time is we need to deprogram from these things that have distortions and where those distortions live. And am I saying that there aren't truths in some of these things that we have called religions? Of course not. There are truths, but there are also a lot of inversions or distortions within them. So what we're doing now is we're unveiling in the form of that word, which is unveiling equals apocalypse. Apocalypse equals unveiling. And what we're doing is we're seeing more and more of the original or organic meanings that were always there, but they were just covered up or misunderstood. And of course, purposefully covered up in many aspects and hidden purposefully as well. I've had a longing to reconnect into what I call as pure truth, because for many years I had hunted around for groups that were connecting into the Wheel of the Year. But every time I went out to seek that, somehow I found myself back alone and just honoring it in a way that I could, or at least at the very least, trying not to entangle myself into the religious inversions that have been called holidays as much as possible. The days that we see the likes of the Christmas or the Easter, for example, these are in fact distortions of what was once were known as holy days. The holy days were sacred. And this all ties into the Wheel of the Year calendar. This calendar reconnects us with your natural world, and we can tap into its energy. But I feel we need to do it in a new way. And there's lots of people, I'm sure, doing this already around the world. But I just want to share. These are some of the things that we need to start recreating, or to do more often, do more of it. Because what I want to point out is that what keeps many from just working the magic and tapping into these sacred days is this thing of being stuck in playing, or that you have to look a certain part. Sure, we need to be or wear the things that we love, but you don't have to wear perfect clothing to do ceremonies and rituals on sacred days like this. You don't need to have the perfect hair either. You don't need to pretend to be anything. We live in this realm, in this space, and in what this is right now. And so we need to feel free to come and be, so that we can just show up as who we truly are. And that's at this soul level. So that to me is showing up in pure truth. And that's how I would personally describe that. So that's what we need to get back into. So working the magic and doing the magic is far more important than what you look like. That's the point. And look, I've been there. You want to have the perfect outfits, and we need to better clothing that is organic always, and soft and beautiful and wonderful, but that's not always possible. And also, we don't all live in places where we can just go outside and touch the trees all day. We're in a very different modern realm, and so we need to really bring that awareness into all of this and connect as best that we can. But what I'm really wanting to say is that I don't want those things to stop or inhibit anybody, because it can, and I've seen it. So the energies surround the Wheel of the Year, wrapped around the sacred times and the days, truly have enchanting and mystical aspects tied to them. And this image that I'm bringing up right now, so I've looked around and I'm trying not to recreate the wheel, literally. I think it describes it really perfectly, because what we're looking at here is, and what I love about this, is that what we can see is that organic duality aspect, what that truly means. So think about this. When one region of our realm experiences Yule, or we could say, or winter solstice, the other place is experiencing the opposite of that. Now, when we think of the opposite, when we really delve into what this all means, and when we really think about this, we can see what duality meant. And then you can really tap into those different energies and how we're able to experience all of these creation energies all at once together as a whole. So we can see, I think, how magnificent the concept and construction was when I really feel into this duality concept of experience. But I'm not talking about the hijacking. That is extreme hijacking, not duality. Different. So we have the following. We have Imbolc, which again is February 1st, 2nd, and this is about honoring Goddess Bridget. That feels really special to me, and so that's the beauty about this, is tapping into these days and knowing the energies in which we can tap into for more of those sacred feelings and the beings in which we can pull frequencies in from. So then we have Ostara, this is the spring equinox, and then you have Beltane, and then you have Litha, which is midsummer, and that's the summer solstice, and then you have Lunaza, which is August 1st and 2nd, and then Mabon, which is autumn equinox, and then Samhain, which is October 31st, November 1st, and then you have winter solstice, and that's December 19th through the 23rd, though Yuletide actually was even longer than that, and that's where the 12 days of the inverted holiday, not holy day, comes from. So as we journey through this primordial calendar, it really can provide us with reconnection into the magic that drives all things. And also to see some truths as to how these distortions covered up the sacred days. And to do that, we have to talk about things people don't like to talk about. And I'm not saying, by the way, that there aren't some things missing from this primordial calendar. But when I feel into this, and have for a very long time, I can feel that this carries the energy of the true wisdom. And I believe that as we regain more and unveil more together, we will see that there actually is more. That's exciting to me because more of the origin coming back means that more and more stargates and positive higher love realms are online. Again, reconnecting into our realm, because we were at one time connected to all of these other realms, even though those were in other timelines. We're recreating that. We're reconnecting the fabric of everything and mending this all back together again. And so the magic and rituals of these festivals, the ceremonies and celebrations, are remembered in many ways. And there are many who live close to the earth and are the true meanings of what druids and pagans meant. Many of us are getting back to this primal and beautiful nature again. So one thing that needs to happen is I'd really like everyone to strip whatever we know about the pagans or druids, because there's so much about them being evil. And this isn't true. They were not. That is made up nonsense meant to separate and control through tyranny. And those untruths were created by the vile beings and their human puppets that have stripped truth from our realm, which was done by the creation of false and violent religions that were created. And anyone that lived in harmony with the earth and wanted to live away from their control mechanisms, basically what happened is they had war rained down on them. These are that few discuss. So the organic and original truth of this Wheel of the Year is that this was celebrated by many cultures and still is to this day. It's just that it's really been harder to find. And you find that the indigenous tribes followed this primordial path. And even if they called something different. So for example, the First Nations tribes, the natives to the Americas, they didn't call it Wheel of the Year specifically, but they honored it in the same ways. So this is pagan wisdom, right? But anyone that followed the truth of the natural essence of this realm has seen war brought down on them. Why? Because when humans and all things live in harmony, they cannot be controlled. They are sovereign. That is why the essence of goddess is about sovereignty, and goddess is the land. And these energies of sovereignty are connected into the very lands that we walk upon even to this day. It's just that we have to strip so much away to see and feel that again. Though, as we well know, that is happening now. It's also about the turning of nature. So it is connection into the natural world. And this being is alive. This earth is alive, as many of us already know. There's so much change that is always present. And as the turnings go through, there's the deep rest and renewal of winter. There's the bright pop and the massive energy in spring. There's the fire in summer, etc. So this brings unique energies that we can access and bring into our lives in a really glorious way. And when we truly remember this and connect deeply with these truths, what happens is that we become very aware and see that this world is actually fully abundant. There is enough for every single being and more that is here. And this is how all beings within it should be living, abundantly. And when we see this truth, this is when the vile ones begin to crack their so-called spiritual whips, and also the physical ones, more and more upon this realm. Now, why do they do this? Because when we fully realize the abundance that all should have access to, this breaks down their false illusion that they have created. So this cycle of conscious and intentional celebration helps us year after year align with these rhythms that keep us feeling whole and alive, and brings back the magic and the wonder that at one time was the driving force all around us, and yes, even here. Now, these are timelines that many of us indigos, starseeds, and cosmic wanderers, we absolutely remember, for these are the wisdom codes that we hold in our very DNA. And remembering the poem that I shared with you through Bridget, the beauty of what once was will be again. Now, there's so much more that we can explore about this Wheel of the Year, and so I create more content around this, but I've also created something perhaps you will be interested in. With a dear friend, we are creating a year-long journey, and it's a series of Wheel of the Year workshops where we will traverse the 8 festivals. And so this is really crafted for those who seek to awaken their inner wisdom and rekindle their bond with this sacred realm and with the essence of all of nature. And our ancestors, the Celtic and pre-Celtic, the pagans, as I've discussed, they gifted us this calendar, and it's a way that we can entwine with the harmonies, the rhythms of nature, and for us to always honor the interconnection of all life. So that's what this is all created for, what this workshop series is going to do. And what I feel is that as the grasp of the patriarchy fades before us, what we're doing is we're uniting in potent energies, and we're restoring balance and sovereignty to this world that was woven into the very fabric of its being and into all living creation. So if you want to join us, we actually kick things off on Imbolc, and that's February 1st for us, and honoring of Goddess Bridget. And the link is here, but the link is also down below in the description. So I hope you can come swim in these sacred energies with us. And I'm going to share a lot more, because this is just the tip of the iceberg on this topic, but I really want to go more into Goddess Bridget and Queen Guinevere some more. And as things evolve and change, we need to create more and more opportunities like this to gather around others who want to connect to these similar frequencies. For this really helping us to unlock deeper codes within us to share more and more together. Because one person doesn't hold all of the wisdom of all the things, but what we're doing is we're weaving this gorgeous divine mosaic again. And what happens is we'll see as the innate truths weave together, our innate gifts weave together, we're combining into this harmonious and awesome mosaic in awesome ways. And I do feel that this is going to happen faster and faster. So if you feel called to join this new quest that we are beginning in the Wheel of the Year workshop series, please do click that link below in the description and come join us and share in these energies with us. So I hope that this helps you to awaken more of your magic. Subscribe to get more videos that are meant to illuminate the path for indigos and starseeds and all of the humans who are here with sacred missions to serve as the pioneers in this massive paradigm shift of consciousness. Together we are remembering the original creation, magic. Thank you so much for watching.